I'm going to show you 3 ways to find puts to sell. First, there's this scanner. You can see just the delta range you set up or the complete curve, and you can look at different expirations that fit your filter criteria that you configured above. You can put a stock or an index here, like SPY. Gives you the chart we just saw. It gives you a GEX summary, so you can see where the underlying price may have some resistance. These tables summarize what was on the chart we just saw. And here are the top candidates across expirations, and a Monte Carlo trade analyzer where you can simulate possible outcomes. We'll come back and walk through an example with each method of finding puts. Everything is free and open source and available in a public GitHub repo, Stockpile. The second way we'll find puts is chatting with Claude. Find me some good puts to sell on Microsoft. You can chat with Claude about what you want, and Claude will show you some candidate puts to sell from your conversation. It uses a CLI interface into the scanner we just saw. You can narrow in on whatever you're looking for, and Claude will probably be able to translate it eventually. And the third way we'll find puts to sell, you may have noticed the portfolio tab on the scanner before. We can import one of your broker's transaction logs, configure a few filters, puts, and only open positions, and let the scanner find the put candidates for each position passing the filters, open positions. We're going to brush aside other aspects of selling puts and focus on the search for maximizing premium relative to risk. But these other aspects are crucial, and you should think long and hard about them. Do you want to own this stock, and at what price? If your put's in danger of getting assigned, will you buy it back, or will you be able to come up with the cash to purchase the shares? How long are you willing to wait until the put expires? And how much premium do you want to collect, and at what annualized yield? With those questions set aside, let's get to the searches. Let's walk through an example of finding a put to sell with the scanner. We're looking for puts with higher than expected implied volatility compared to their neighbors, which implies they're offering better premium for similar risk. First, make sure you're on the single ticker tab and select Schwab if you have it configured. Otherwise, Yahoo Finance is fine. Make sure sell is selected, and we're going to do puts. Let's decrease the max delta to 30 so it will only show us puts safely out of the money. Let's also move the max DTE down to 60 days, so we'll have more room to roll out to a later date if needed. Let's keep minimum IO and minimum volume at 1 just to make sure our candidates have some open interest and at least one trade has happened today. And we'll do Nike, NKE. That's the shoe brand that has really been beaten up lately. And hit scan. Here's the results, starting with these 4 cards. Nike's current price, $45.76. The number of expirations in our DTE filter, 3. The next earnings, June 30th in 29 days. And the action, just to confirm we're looking to sell puts. Then there's some text. You can confirm the scan is what you think it is right here. We're just focusing on the single expiration this episode, but you can also click all expirations, which kind of does what you'd think. There's 3 expirations, but it's still a work in progress, so maybe a future episode we'll talk about that. This drop down lets us view the chart for each expiration in the DTE range. The one with the top candidate is selected by default and has this star. The text in the drop down for each row tells you the expiration, the number of days, and how many top 10 picks it has. So we can go through the different ones. This show all fit points checkbox lets us see the complete volatility curve, and that works for all expirations. Our delta range is the white area, mostly. The dots far away from the line, like these 2, usually indicate it's stale data, and there's been no volume today. They could be several days old, and that's more common as you move to extreme strikes and delta out on the far edges. Each of these squares plots a put contract at the given expiration, and the strike is mapped on the x-axis. The implied volatility is how far up it is, shown on the y-axis. The current price of Nike, the spot, will be right of the dots because we're showing out of the money puts. So the spot is above the strikes. We want to sell a put below the current price. This view only shows puts in our delta range. Again, if you want to see all the puts in the expiration, you check this show all fit checkbox. Green dots still mean richer premium, but we don't have any legit green dots, just this one stale one here. The larger squares are puts in the top 10 candidates. The legend to the right shows what the color means. And finally, I like to focus on monthly expirations. They're a little more liquid than weeklies. They usually fall between the 15th and 20th of the month. Let's look at that one, July 17th. I'd look for my candidates here. Here is the GEX summary just below the chart. Red bars mean the movement could be amplified as it passes the strike, and green just the opposite. It could be pinned. I haven't used GEX a lot in my option selling. Please leave a comment if you have and share how you use it. Claude took the lead in designing and implementing GEX for us. Next, we have the expiration table showing all the data in the chart for an expiration in table format. Green lines are good, red not so much. And then the top candidates table showing the best candidates across all expirations, ordered by IV plus PP, which is a measure of relative implied volatility. These yellow shaded cells are an indicator that the contract may have liquidity issues. And you can hover over any column with a yellow cell and it will tell you why. At the bottom is the Monte Carlo Trade Analyzer, contributed by BLazy167. It lets you run simulations on how selling a put on a specific contract may perform. My understanding is that each one of these lines is a possible future outcome over time, and then displayed here on the profit loss distribution. Just like GEX, I haven't used Monte Carlo when selling puts. Please leave a comment about how you use it. Again, verify anything this scanner finds that looks interesting to you at your broker. I keep the scanner up and log into my broker to check the broker's ask, bid, midpoint, spread, last, open interest, and volume, and I compare these to the scanners and see if I think I could get filled at an attractive price. I also use the positions tool in the Stockpile repo to get a full picture of my cost basis and trade history for an existing position, but we'll have to cover that in another episode. Let's move on to method 2 of finding puts to sell. Just ask Claude. You'll need a Claude subscription for this. If you don't have that yet, go to claude.ai. Get either the Pro or the Max plan. I use the Pro. That's probably enough for most people unless you're a hardcore developer. Then download and install Claude. Then clone or download and unzip the Stockpile repo. It's linked in the description. It has the scanner and other related tools. Start Claude from the Stockpile folder and start conversing with Claude about what kind of puts you want to sell. Find some puts to sell on Nike, 30 to 60 DTE, at least one OI in volume, and show the results in my browser. Claude runs the put scan, and when finished, will open your default browser with a report showing the results. I forgot to tell Claude I wanted the delta a little bit lower. So it's showing us the highest IV plus PP across all deltas. I only want to buy Nike if the price falls lower than this. So let's try again. Please set delta 2.1, 2.3. You can go through as many iterations here as needed to find exactly what you're looking for. Now the delta is where we want it. The price is lower. We got these expirations, these IV plus PPs. So we could pick one of these or keep looking. The third and final way we'll find puts to sell is by looking at a broker transaction log. This is a scanner feature, not Claude. So go to the portfolio tab right here. Upload one of your broker's transaction log CSVs, and the scanner scans every position in it. It found 65 tickers. The format is auto-detected, Schwab. The other formats it supports are Fidelity, Robinhood, Schwab, Merrill, and the custom Stockpile format. Let's set the option type to puts. Then you want to set the scan mode. I'm going to choose best option. If we selected roll, it would also compute a net credit or debit for each open option. And then choose the positions to scan. Since this is such a big transaction log, I'm just going to do open options. But it could also include stocks without open options and even the closed positions in the log. And then dial in these usual filters however you like. DTE, OI and volume, delta range, and the number of candidates that you want to show. And then hit the scan portfolio button. And you'll see it's scanning through each one right now. All right, the scan finished, and each position as scanned is going to have results, but smaller than the full single ticker results. These charts may look a little off because it's not market hours, so there's stale data in Schwab. Each position scan has the chart with all the matching expirations and the top candidates table, and some additional info about the top pick, as well as the cards. I use this to occasionally scan one of my accounts looking to sell new covered calls or puts, or roll existing calls or puts. If I find something, I'll go back to the single ticker tab or Claude and do more filtering. Completely off topic, but I just wanted to briefly mention a new contribution to the Stockpile repo. This live trading dashboard where you can view up to 8 tickers or cryptos real time. And a big thanks to John McClain for contributing this dashboard. Please reach out if you're a developer and interested in supporting or enhancing this new dashboard. If you enjoyed this content, please consider joining the Discord and Patreon listed here and in the description, and liking and subscribing. Please drop a comment too, good or bad. And pause the video and read this disclaimer. This was not investment advice, and don't take any action based on the scanner or Claude without first verifying on your broker. A couple of my other videos should be popping up now. Please consider watching one. And thank you for watching until the very end. And have a profitable day.